जो वैदिक अभिप्सा में आरंभ होती है और वे सारी संभावनाएं प्रत्येक मनुष्य के भीतर उपस्थित है, इसका पूरा पूरा आश्वासन श्री अरविंद के इस महाकाव्य में हमें मिलता है। ये महाकाव्य केवल एक साहित्यिक कृति नहीं है और इसीलिए क्योंकि जैसा कि अभी चौहान जी भी कह रहे थे कि ये अपने आप में पंचम वेद है और इसीलिए इस एक लंबे समय का व्यतीत हो जाना अपने आप में इस लिंक को तोड़ता नहीं है। ये वास्तव में उसी का एक क्रम है जो आगे बढ़ रहा है और मानव जाति के विकास में इसका अपना एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण स्थान है, क्योंकि ये निरंतर उत्तरोत्तर और उच्चतम शिखरों की ओर हमें लेकर जाता है। मेरे एब्स्ट्रैक्ट को मैं पढ़ती हूँ। The present article is a glimpse into Savitri, the epic poetry of Sri Aurobindo in reference to the ancient-most Vedic spirit that in its continuity through the later scriptures, writings of philosophy and religion, indifferent to the medium of expression, finding its culmination. क्योंकि सावित्री अंग्रेजी में है तो ये नहीं कहा जा सकता कि वो वेदों के समकक्ष कैसे होंगे, क्योंकि ये वो भाव है, ये वो स्पिरिट है जिसको पकड़कर और यहाँ पर वो सारी ही बात आगे चलती है। Dawn, light, bliss and immortality have been the very ingredients of Indian psychology from time immemorial. The highest heights that the Indian soil is blessed with are found in glimpses of life that can be understood from the makeup of the aspiration that runs through the Vedic hymns. Rigveda, with the following trio of inspirational works of Atharva, Sama, Yajur, and the contrary streams of Vedanta, enriching the tradition along Upanishads, embracing the whole Indian subcontinent for such a big span of time that it could be compared only to the sustaining element that worked as the original shaping and life-making of not only the past or present, but the great future that we look forward to. Sri Aurobindo, whom Romeo reveres as the last of the great rishis, revealed the secret of Veda to the modern times. The true value and place of the Aryan spirit and the contribution in the making of one of the greatest civilizations are opened to our eyes with such concretized yet subtle facts that it becomes an obvious evidence why Vedas are seen as the zenith of human knowledge and spirituality. But Sri Aurobindo doesn't make this commentary his final word on it, and takes this golden river of sincere aspiration to its destined ocean in Savitri, in a manner of a God's labor. God's labor श्री अरविंद की कविता है। यदि उसको पूरी तरह से उसका अध्ययन किया जाए तो श्री अरविंद के जीवन में उन्होंने वास्तव में हम सब के लिए क्या किया है, उसका पूरा वर्णन हम सब देख सकते हैं। By huge endeavor, this mighty task is fulfilled, and without negating anything that takes place in between these creations, he sets a strong link right from the time of ancient most to the present and enables us to see the journey that the consciousness has made through. केवल इसका एक मैं बहुत स्किपिंग मोड में अपने पेपर को थोड़ा पढ़ूंगी क्योंकि समय का अभाव है निश्चित रूप से। यहाँ श्री अरविंद के एक कोट से मैं शुरू कर रही हूँ। The human mind in its progress marches from knowledge to knowledge, or it renews and enlarges previous knowledge that has been obscured and overlaid, or it seizes on old imperfect clues and is led by them in new discoveries. It is from the secrets of the Veda. In the above words, a great revelation flashes out, though seen, understood, and experienced by many of the thinkers, scholars, and philosophers. But rare are the men who lived this truth. And Sri Aurobindo not only lived it, but took the whole process of evolution to such an extent that it hastened the transformation, which might look a chimera today to the blurred eyes of humanity. But the truth of tomorrow and thus awaken the aspiration that lies in the ladder of the creation, that is inconscient, and in the cave of the human heart, where waits the aspiring flame to become a part of the cosmic yum-yum in eternity. Savitri, the epic that is yet to be adorned with a suitable proposition. ये बिल्कुल वैसा ही है कि जैसा तुलसी सीता के लिए कहते हैं, सब उपमा कभी रखे झूठा है, और ऐसी कोई उपमा अभी तक नहीं मिल रही कि जो सीता के लिए वो प्रयुक्त करे। ठीक सावित्री के लिए वैसी ही चीज़ है कि सावित्री को हम किस रूप में देखें, क्या उसके लिए विशेषण प्रयुक्त करें, वो अभी नहीं ढूंढा गया। Those who have made a sincere effort to understand the words of the Master, those who have put their intelligence to test, attempting to analyze the significance of the symbolic parallels of the Veda and Savitri, those who have surrendered their hearts in devotion at the feet of the Guru and read the words as a consecration to him, are assured of the golden dawn that has been promised. It is so because through these mantric lines, the continuity of Vedic spirit could be perceived in Savitri. बहुत सारे स्कॉलर्स ने इस बात को देखा है, समझा है और कहा है, जो श्रीमंत के डिवोटी भी हैं, वो कहते हैं कि सावित्री लिखकर श्रीमंत ने अंग्रेजी भाषा को संस्कृत बना दिया। अपने आप में बिल्कुल मांत्रिक वैल्यू जो अंग्रेजी भाषा में उसके भीतर छुपी हुई थी, वो केवल सावित्री में आकर प्रकट हुई। As Sri Aurobindo himself puts it in the Secrets of the Veda, for it will be found that the sober truth, the Vedanta, Purana, Tantra, philosophical schools, and the great Indian religions do go back to their source, to Vedic origins. और ये श्री अरविंद बड़े एलाबोरेटेड वे में बहुत विस्तृत रूप से पूरे सीक्रेट्स ऑफ वेदा में हमें दिखाते हैं कि जितना कुछ इस दौरान लिखा गया है, संतलाल में जो कुछ भी लिखा गया है, जो कुछ रचा गया है, जिस चीज़ को रियलाइज किया है, न केवल लिखा गया है, वो सब कुछ उसके पार्श्व में, उसकी पृष्ठभूमि में, उसकी तैयारी में हम देख सकते हैं कि वेद है। Savitri commences with the reference that is a constant and familiar term in Ved. और सावित्री का आरंभ इस पंक्ति से होता है, जो वेदों की अपनी एक ख्याति है, और वेदों ने हमें इस सुंदर उषा का जो वर्णन दिया है। यहाँ श्री अरविंद इसका आरंभ करते हैं। उषा is the closest of the goddesses to the worshipping heart. Here we find her as the very beginning of the hour, the birth of the creation and a promise of the future. और ये पंक्ति आती है, it was the hour before the gods awake. And who is awake at this hour? Savitri, with the mountainous load on her heart of Satyavan's death. But this reminder that is counted with every beat is not a mortal moment for her. The one who is awake even before the Brahma Muhurta is not waiting for the actual translation of Narada's words, but preparing within to confront the unavoidable and win back the immortality, the bringer of the original beauty and the bliss of life. Had it been a story merely, its detailing would have been Aswanta Sukhai for literary purpose alone. But when we find it breaking all the limits and boundaries of human endeavor in written terms, it stands out, Savitri, as the sole document that can invariably fulfill the need of each and every march of human progress, whether it is philosophy, literature, religion, science, social concerns, politics, or any imaginable or practiced aspect of human life. Also, if compared on the basis of length, Savitri is the longest of the epics ever written in English language. The echoes and re-echoes of the Vedic hymn in another verbal expression meant for the modern times and for broader span of geographical extents are frequent in the whole text. The Vedas are the voice of the Lord, descending from unmeasured heights to answer the aspiring hearts that are at yellow. The effort was not of asserting an individual achievement, but at the same time, it would not be given to unprepared individuals and gave birth to ritualistic practices where a mechanical chanting took place of subtle understanding and a new distinction was raised, which later on thickened, bringing another stream of scholarly understanding of the Vedic hymns. But for this, Sri Aurobindo puts it as this could not and cannot serve the purpose, as Sri Aurobindo puts it. For not by reason was creation made, and not by reason can the truth be seen. And further, at the end, I would like to say that thus one can find innumerable references to the Vedic spirit in symbolic form in the whole epic. But the recurrence is not a mechanical repetition of the signs and symbols, but the whole spirit is taken into account as it serves a much greater purpose that the involution demands of the evolution of the creation. Also, the concluding lines remind us of the ever-cherished dawn. The supreme term supramental begins to take shape in the dream of humanity. क्योंकि सावित्री का आरंभ होता है, it was the hour before the gods awake, और उसके अंत में जब हम लोग पहुँचते हैं, तो वहाँ पर concluding lines में she brooded through her stillness on her thought, deep guarded by her mystic folds of light, and in her bosom nurtured a greater dawn. तो एक उषा से और महत्तर उषा की ओर ले जाने वाला ये महाकाव्य